In 1940, 3/4 of all black Americans lived in the southern states, mostly in the rural areas. The war brought a tremendous shift in population as hundreds of thousands of blacks left their homes and went looking for war work. Those who found jobs in the cold industrial North were hard-pressed to find adequate housing. There was no paternalism in Detroit. Blacks found themselves competing with unsympathetic whites, not only for jobs, but for a place to live. One documentary about wartime boom towns was unusually frank in depicting black poverty in the South, but racial segregation did not seem to be an issue for the government filmmakers.
Mobile, as every American city of any size, had its slums before the war. But when a nation is at war, it becomes clear that the health and welfare of each affects the health and welfare of all. Lack of comfort, lack of rest, illness breeding in conditions like these mean time lost from production. But in Mobile, such projects as these have become one of the obligations of good government. They are rented only to certified colored war workers and are equipped with auditoriums, playgrounds, and day nurseries to take care of the children while their parents are working in the war plants.
Even the nursery schools were segregated. Racial animosity, which simmered beneath the surface of American society, erupted in Detroit in the summer of 1943. 25 blacks and 9 whites were killed in the rioting. 700 people were injured. 600 were put in jail. "6,000 American soldiers were sent to Detroit to patrol the streets and restore order. There was more racial violence in New York, Philadelphia, Chicago, and other places in the North. The National Association for the Advancement of Colored People enrolled 500,000 new members during the war. CORE, the Congress of Racial Equality, was founded in 1942 and staged a few sit-ins and demonstrations. But throughout the war years, most black civil rights leaders urged restraint in the interests of national unity. Many black leaders hoped that once the war was over, sympathetic whites like Eleanor Roosevelt would lead the nation towards racial equality. President Roosevelt, seen here reviewing segregated black troops stationed in Liberia, did not do very much for black Americans during the war years. National unity and winning the war, so he seemed to believe, required maintaining the racial status quo. Even so, he remained extremely popular among blacks. Not until Vice President Harry Truman succeeded FDR were the armed forces desegregated by presidential order.